do, right, this is going to be a very rough and ready video because I am far too lazy to film it properly. So I'm making some sequin festival wings and I'm going to show you a little bit of how I make them. So coming into the lounge. So I've already cut out, oh that's really overexposed. There we go, that's a bit better. Sorry, I'm not very good with my camera yet. Anyway, so I've cut out the base shape for my wing, which will serve as the bottom. Kind of difficult to explain what goes there. So it's a cloak, and this is the back. If you draw a line here, this front piece then folds over the front of your body, and then there's going to be like a neck hook. So obviously this is half of the wing. I measured, this measurement here to here is my arm length, so from my shoulder to my wrist. I will put some kind of thing here which tells you about the measurements and stuff. And then this goes down in a sort of half square. I don't know what I'm saying. I'll put the measurements somewhere. And then what I'm doing at the moment is cutting out the pattern for the next layer of sequin fabric, which is going to go on top, which is a different colour. And that's this lovely, beautiful stuff here. So I will talk to you again in a bit when I've done a bit more cutting out and I know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, so I should probably say where the inspiration for this came from. So it's from this picture from Vogue magazine, which I really admire. Just inspired. I'll put that here now. There we go. And then, so what I've done from that, that's the only picture I have of it, so I don't really know what the back of it looks like, but I'm making it up, you know, creative license. So I've then created, well, I've created two drawings. So this is the other drawing, which I sketched on my computer of how I thought it might go. These originally were going to be individual pieces, but it's going to take really long to sew it because with the sequin fabric you have to either cut all the sequins off where you want to sew or you just sew it by hand. So I'm going to sew it by hand. And I can't be bothered to do all of these individual pieces, so I'm going to do bigger pieces. So I've just re-sketched it out. So I'm having two really big pieces at the back and then another one at the front in this like nice brown fabric, and then two smaller ones on top and then another one at the front in this lovely fabric over here. So I bought all of this fabric in Berwick Street, which is a big fabric store in London, fabric street in London. And one of the stores are having a closing down sale and they had all this amazing sequin fabric. I actually wanted to do it in like blues and pinks and stuff, but they had these in on sale and really cheap. It was like £8 per metre or something. So I got that, no less than that, I can't remember, I'll put the price somewhere as well. So yeah, so I went in and got all the gold colours, but I think it will look nice, especially at festival when the sun's like glittering off of it. So yeah, that's where I'm up to at the moment, and that's how I did the little design sketch thing. It's not very precise or accurate, you could probably create it much better than that. So a couple of other things you have to think about when you're working with sequin fabric is which way the sequins lay and which way you want them facing. So in this case, I want them running down the wing. So these two pieces, which are at the back, are facing one way. And then this piece, which is at the front, I want the sequins facing the other way. So I pinned it facing out. Also, it saves fabric because I can lay them like intersecting like this. It's a bit tricky when you cut it out because it cuts through the sequins. You're going to get it everywhere and you're going to have to hoover. It's a pain, but it's fine. And then also, with this one in particular, I have a pattern to deal with as well. So you can see it has vertical, horizontal stripe, whatever, stripes running down it. So I'm trying to get them running with the stripes running down the pieces rather than like across them this way. That way it makes it look, I just think, a little bit better. So a couple of things to bear in mind if you're working with patterned and sequin fabric or patterned fabric. Okay, so I've cut all of the next pieces out. You can see them now. So something's gone a bit wrong with this one. The pattern's the wrong way, but it's okay. This is the first time that I've made something like this. So, and then there's the other piece that at the front. So I think the next step is to cut out the next layer, which goes on top like this around here, and then I have to sew it on, and then I have to do the other wing, of course, because this is one half. And then I have to sew it all on by hand. This is going to take a long time, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so next step is complete. I am now cutting out the patterns for this last layer, which is going to sit on top of the brown. I've not sewed this on or anything yet. I've just laid it on the ground. How do I make the patterns? I'll talk a little bit about that. So the base pattern, which I made the big bottom piece wing out of, I measured using, as I said earlier, the distance from the back of my neck to my wrist. And then the curve and stuff I kind of freehand, and the little scallops, which are actually pretty difficult to see, I think. Focus. These little scallops are pretty difficult to see, so I just freehand those. I mean, you could, if you're not particularly comfortable doing that, use like a teacup or a mug, and then maybe a plate or something to draw on your. And this is. Oh, where is it? This is just like normal greaseproof paper. It's the perfect like pattern paper, because you can iron it if it gets too creased and stuff, and you can keep reusing it, and you always have it. You can make multiple if you have like kids that you want to make this for. You can make it for all your children, whatever. Rambling. So yeah, and then the bits on top. So the patterns for these pieces, and then for these, I just draw kind of the rough shape that I want with a rough straight line, and then again freehand the circles. The thing is with the sequin fabric is it's pretty forgiving, so if you don't cut a perfectly straight line, no one's going to notice. If you were using a different fabric, then you might want to draw the pattern out with a chalk and a ruler, for example, but I didn't bother, and I'm pretty confident that I can draw a straight line without needing to. So yeah, that's a little bit about how I did the pattern. So I'm going to get the next lot of fabric cut out, and then I need to work out how I'm going to sew them on, because it's a bit tricky and I've never done it before. So I've now gone along and I've just moved it off the floor onto the table. The other wing is down there in pieces, which I will deal with later. So this is the wing that I had out on the floor before. Oh, come back. So I've gone along and pinned it all the way along, and I'm just going to do a running stitch around the edge for now to tack it on, and then maybe if I feel like it needs to be attached again more strongly, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. So I found the best way to sew it is, well, it's pretty easy, is to just do it by hand, because I'm worried about breaking the sewing machine needle if I sew it with, I mean, if you want to be brave and try it, go for it, but I don't want to break my machine. So I'm doing a back stitch instead, not very neatly because no one can see it. So I'm just going to go all the way around the edge of each of these pieces, and then put the next piece on top, and boom, done. That's it. So it's now a few weeks later, and I'm back in London. I haven't got my tripod with me, so I'm doing this candid camera style. I'm basically completely useless and didn't film any of the rest of me making it because I'm lazy, and I did it over a period of about 3 weeks. So I'm now just going to show you the finished thing and talk about how I made the rest of it, and the few problems that I had when I was making it, because I had a few trial and error problems which I probably wouldn't have put into the video anyway had I bothered to film it. So here we go. So this is the thing. I've just laid it out on my kitchen floor to show you the final shape of it. So these brown bits are the bits that I was last talking about in my video. I've got the stripes of the sequin fabric running down, and I stitched these on by hand, and then I cut out the next layer of shape, which is this lighter gold fabric, and also stitch it on by hand over the top. The mistake being that I sewed the brown onto the gold, and then this other gold through both the gold, brown and the gold, whereas I should have done this together separately and then sewn it on. But you know, we learn from our mistakes, and this is the first time I've made something like this, so you know. Once I've done that on both sides, which to be honest took a really, really long time, like a whole weekend or something, because I'm slow and hand sewing and I was doing a back stitch, I then attached a lining which looks like this, which is this bright orange fabric here. It looks quite nice. I wanted something that would stop the sequin fabric being really itchy on my skin at the festival, because it's going to be quite hot. And then I attached the two pieces together using another piece of this gold sequin fabric, which I used on these feathers I say. And that's basically it. What did I try that went wrong? I tried to, if I can find a piece that I did here, I tried to machine the lining to the to the gold fabric, which didn't work very well, and I broke about 3 sewing machine on needles. So you can see here where I've carried on stitching it by hand, just doing a back stitch, but I tried doing some of it and I broke loads of needles. What else have I done? Oh, I've also attached 2 wrist straps so that I can lift my arms up without it sliding down. That works quite well. I tried it a few times and it seems to be fine. And then the other thing I've done is attach this like long silver piece, white piece of elastic, which ties from the back around my neck and then under my arms and around behind my body, so it doesn't strangle me if it's just tied around my neck. And that's basically it. This is how this is tied on, like this. So I'm sorry for the rough and ready nature of this video. I was not planning on doing it properly, but I just thought I'd do it at the last minute. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you do, please like and subscribe to my channel and share it with anybody else that you think might like this video. Thank you, see you later, bye!
I'm cold, hot, fucked, broken, no money, and the pain in my guts is all I can feel. The bell that rings as I walk past the church says I'm late for this deadly ordeal.